Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Backstage Spotlight. Today I am with Courtney. Hello, Courtney.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. So, Courtney and I met last year on the Lane Summer School, so it's lovely to have someone familiar on the podcast. It's great.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I loved doing the Lane Summer Schools. It was so nice to go back to where I trained and like it felt like giving back a little bit of like a piece of what they gave to me. Yeah.
So nice. So, Courtney, would you like to say to the people listening what you're doing in the industry at the moment?
Okay, yes. I so right now I'm in Manchester. I'm doing Dear England, which is a play about Gareth Southgate and his journey being the England manager. And we started at the National, was there for a couple of months, I think, and then we have just literally come up. We had our press night on Sunday at the Lowry in Salford.
Oh, wow. That's so exciting, Gareth, doing the whole play about that. So, what is the general storyline if you don't want to give too much away?
Yeah, yeah. It basically starts from when he is brought on as the England manager and his whole journey throughout that, which I think I think the poor guy basically got so much like grief for basically never getting us that win. But actually, the story of the play is so important because it shows how much he did behind the scenes, and it also highlights that actually he did improve. Like I feel like with football in England, it's like if we don't win, then we're losers. Whereas the play sort of highlights that like he got us to like semi-final, quarter-final. Like he did better than we'd ever done in since '66. So yeah, it's like basically showing like how much he achieved in his time, and also more importantly, the psychological side of it. He brings on a psychologist, which is everyone's sort of like laughing at to start with, like, why do we need a psychologist? And it sort of goes into like that side of things as well, and the pressure on the players. And yeah, it's a really, really good watch. And I think so many people who've come to watch it who are like, oh, I'm not a football person at all, have really enjoyed it.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, talk to us about your role in the show.
My role. So I am in the ensemble. So I've got two roles in the show every night, and then I understudy another part. So my every night roles, I play a bride, and it's in a section where it's in the 2018 World Cup. And do you know what's funny is like there's a mention in the play about like you remember where you are at each of the markers of like World Cup Euros. And for the 2018, I remember it so vividly because I was in Manchester, I was doing Mamma Mia, and I remember the hype around like we're gonna win it this year because we were doing so well. And everyone's singing, dancing. Like during Mamma Mia, you'd like have people singing like football's coming home. It was like the most surreal experience. And everyone was running off stage. Like we had like TVs like backstage. We'd like run off stage and like watch the match, and then we'd have to go back on and off. Um, so it's really cool to be in this section in the show where actually everyone's just celebrating, like thinking we're gonna win. So yeah, basically I'm playing a bride who's like a member of the public, and they've got all these characters who are different members of the public. Like basically this whole section where we're like celebrating, like yeah, it's coming home, and we're dancing around, and yeah, it's fun.
Brilliant. So, in terms of the audiences that you've had so far, what's the percentage, like on average, of people who are football fans versus people who have appreciated theatre for so long?
You know what? I actually don't know the physical percentage. Like I've chatted to both sets of people. Like, we chat to people all the time, and lots of the football fans obviously love it because they know the players, they know like the mannerisms and like all the actors that play them, they're just perfectly casted. Like it's really, really good. So like people who are football fans have absolutely adored it because they've gone, oh, he's just like Saka or Harry Kane, or the guy who plays Pickford is amazing. And then the people, like I've had a lot of my friends come who actually are not football people whatsoever. And like I said before, they've just absolutely enjoyed it. And I feel like even for me, when I auditioned, they basically in the room were like, are you a football fan? And I was like, well, I watch it like internationally, like when it's like England, but I don't really have like a specific team. But
Yeah.
like when I was watching like the run throughs of the show and stuff, it's just such a compelling story, and like the way James Graham, the writer's written it, is really, really incredible.
It's great. So you've just had your press night, which
Yes.
sounds very exciting. So
Yeah.
what is the future of the show over the next few months for everyone listening if they would like to catch it, see it somewhere?
Yeah, so we're here in Manchester until the end of this month. And then it is going on tour. I don't know the full ins and outs, and they've not started like the casting yet, so I don't know if I'm doing it or not yet. So I can't
Oh,
answer that. But yeah, but it is going on tour around the UK. I think I don't want to tell a lie, but I think it's starting in September time.
fantastic. Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's really good, a really good type of show to go on tour
Mm.
because it
Yeah.
bring in so many different people that you wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily travel like to London
Yeah.
to see. So that's really exciting for the show.
Yeah. And I think that's the nice thing about it is actually it it felt so nice to do it in Manchester. It was the first time the show had ever been done out of London because it's been done at the National and in the West End and then back at the National. But it was the first time that it's ever been done outside of London. So to do it to like a Manchester, which is such a football city, and then yeah, that's the other thing. I feel like it's brought so many people to the theatre who actually never would go. Like a lot of football people have come to watch it, and like it's quite funny because some of them have come and never been to the theatre before, and like people were like bringing like pizza boxes in and stuff like that, and like yeah, it's like brought a completely new crowd to the theatre, which I think is lovely. And I think someone said to me the other day that they were like, "Oh, I'm definitely going to start going to theatre now and seeing if this is for me," which is really really nice.
Oh, that's brilliant. So now
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to you a bit about your experience with auditions. What
Oh
is
yeah.
your general audition process from getting the material to going in? How do you prepare?
Mm. So I usually, with scripts, I usually completely dissect it. So I do a lot of like actioning, uniting if it needs it, sort of intentions, and sort of just start with that and like go through the script and like just completely tear it apart and then put sort of my thing back on it back together. And with like movement and dance, like I sort of haven't because I'm sort of kind of not really doing much dance anymore. I
Mm.
sort of don't really have much of a preparation for that. I just sort of go to the audition, see what they throw at me, and see if I can handle it. Um, so yeah, that's it really. I just sort of like pull the scripts apart, really go through them, and then sort of I try and get off book if I can, if it's not too much material. Um, and then also I do ask for help as well. Like
Mm.
I'll like do it with my partner or friends or whatever and just like run the lines, like see if they like if I've missed anything and they're like, oh that might be a good shout or like yeah, so it's always nice to like ask for help as well.
Yeah, that's really nice. So then
Mm.
once you've landed the role, which for example for Dear England, then
Mm.
when you get the material and you're starting to develop your character, what are some tips that you can give to potential actors, people listening, of how to
Mm.
approach that side of developing your character?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's nice. I think I definitely once I've got the role and it also depends on what the role is. Like with this, for example, I forgot to mention earlier when I was talking about my roles in the show, I also play a female footballer in it. And it's when the Lionesses win the
Oh,
Euros in 22. So it's quite a special moment. And with that, for example, because it was a real thing that happened. I just like sunk myself into research. I rewatched the match of the Lionesses, and then I was watching loads of interviews with like Chloe Kelly, Demi Stokes afterwards, like to just see like what their vibe was when they won and how just excited they were, which it was an easy watch because it was so enjoyable. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely research. I'm trying to think of like past, like when I did The Borrowers, I was playing Arietti in The Borrowers. I did a lot of research on Anne Frank because the book The Borrowers was inspired by Anne Frank's diary. So I read that. So yeah, it's just basically looking what's out there and what can relate to these characters and trying to watch, read, and soak up as much information about that as possible.
Yeah, fantastic. So obviously the performance industry is tough, and I think that goes without saying. People know what they get themselves into. But what
Mm.
advice would you give in terms of in between jobs while you're auditioning? How do you keep yourself ticking over, and what advice do you have about that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's important to acknowledge those moments and experience them because they are a part of the industry. It's very, very rare to just be in constant work and not have any gaps. So I think, yeah, when I'm in those moments, it's about sort of keeping the creative side ticking over.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely go to classes. Like I've been going to like some acting classes just to sort of like get scripts, dissect them, do what I normally do with auditions and jobs, but like keep that going on my time. Um, I also think being active physically really helps me. So like exercise, yoga, just something to sort of have an outlet of that energy that you use when you're in rehearsals or on stage, and when you're out of work, not having that experience of like that adrenaline and all of that every day. It's good to sort of like replace that with something, and definitely exercise helps me with that as well.
Yeah, for sure. If you didn't work in the performance industry, what would you have ended up doing?
It's such a hard question. I I when I did my A levels, I did psychology and sociology, and I was always really interested in like forensics and that kind of like crime scene investigation. Like, I always like watch TV shows about that and documentaries. So I probably would have gone to uni and done like some sort of either forensic psychology or something like that.
Very interesting. I suppose
Yeah.
it kind of ties into Dear England with the whole psychology of that.
Yes. Yeah,
That
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
over, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, so linking back to your training, trained at Lane Theatre Arts, it's great that you can come back and teach at the summer schools, for example. What
Yeah.
would you say you wish you knew at college since coming into the industry? Something that maybe you don't learn at college or that's kind of like an unspoken rule of the industry?
That's a really hard question. Let me have a think. Um, I I think you do learn so much at college. Like, obviously, it just provides you with all the skills and everything. But I think until you get into the industry and start like experiencing it, that's when you sort of realize like what it's like. And I also felt like you learn from older people in when you do a show or whatever. People in the cast who are older and more experienced and gone from job to job, you sort of learn like etiquette things from them. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, I don't know, just like respect for
Yeah.
your other cast members, like in terms of like, I don't know, calling in sick. If you were to ever call in sick, it's like a respect thing of like making sure that like you do the right thing by it, and like maybe if you've got an understudy, like sort of that kind of respect balance. Like there's just little things like that that you sort of learn as you go. But I
Yeah.
do think going to Lane, like it did, teach us so much, and I learned a lot about the industry. And also at Lane, we used to go and do the pantos and stuff over the
Um,
Christmas holidays,
yeah.
which was invaluable because you learned so much during them as well. Like going, then you come back to college and you're like you've worked in a professional show with professionals, and so yeah, it's really, really handy.
Do you have a college highlight, like one moment that you specifically think back to when you think about your time at college?
There's so many. It's so hard. Like I honestly, I look back at my time at Lane, and like I just had the best 3 years. Like I know everyone has like different experiences, but I met the best friends, literally still best friends with them now. And like I look back at my time and I just think I was so looked after because I went through a lot at college as well. Like my mum passed away whilst I was there. So to look back at that time and go, oh, wow, I had the most amazing 3 years and I was looked after is like really, really special.
Yeah.
But in terms of a highlight, I'd say the summer shows were so exciting. Like it was just a moment for everyone to be on stage together, and that's what you're training for at the end of the day, isn't it? You go in every day, you're working hard, and then to be able to have a show at the end of the year and just like all be together on stage is like that's the reason you're doing it. So I'd say probably summer shows were a highlight.
So I obviously graduated last year, but
Mm.
luckily this year I've had the privilege to come back and I'm actually doing Backstage Left for the summer show. So it's so
Nice.
nice to still
Oh,
be in
that's
that
so fun.
environment because it is special. It really is. It
Mm.
brings everyone together. You can feel the good vibes, and we're going into the theatre next week, and
So
everyone's
fun.
buzzing. It's a great,
Oh, that's so nice.
it
Oh, I'll
really.
have to see if I can try come watch.
Yeah, well, you have to be quick because I think the tickets have gone
Oh, really? Oh,
quick.
is it literally next week?
Yeah, it's like 12th, 13th, 14th of June.
Oh, fab, okay.
So have to see.
Yeah.
Yes, so thinking about your future, say maybe like 5-year plan, 10-year plan, where do you see yourself in the future?
Um, I it's a hard question, isn't it? Like you, because you just never know what this industry's gonna like throw your way, or but if I just carried on like as I am now, like going from different jobs, like I am focused more now on the acting side of things. So I've sort of put my dancing shoes away for a bit. So yeah, if I carried on doing plays and did a bit more TV, that'd be like the dream, and just to carry on doing what I'm doing basically, and just yeah,
I spoke to someone the other day and I asked a similar question. I said, what's your dream role in the future? And they just said, a job.
yeah, literally that is it.
It
That is
really
it.
reflects how the industry is because,
Yeah,
if you do go for like a specific, you might miss something else. And that's just how
yeah.
it is, isn't it?
Exactly. I always think that like if I look back at like my career, like from the first job that I got out of college, I'm like, if I didn't get that, or if I got a different job that lasted like a longer length or a shorter length, then my whole career would be completely different because I wouldn't have been available at the same time. So I always think like how mad that is, like in this industry.
I know. How do
Um,
you find TV versus stage?
yeah, it's very, very different. It's a lot of it's longer hours, a lot of waiting around, and then because like with theatre, obviously you you have so much time to rehearse. So you first of all you've got that usually minimum 4 weeks, and then you've got your tech, and then you're into the shows, and you can sort of play around. You can like even with this, like some nights I'll try something different with my lines, then I'll be like, oh no, that didn't work, or oh yeah, that really landed with the audience, so I can do that. Whereas with TV, you're waiting around and then you're up and it's like go, 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 film it once, film it twice, done. And you're like, oh gosh, that was a blur. Like it is so different, but I feel like it is a different kind of buzz. Like, and if you've got like a good director who's like guiding you through, like it's really, really lovely and a lot of fun. Yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
I'm sure stage is like one shot and then it's like a live reaction, whereas TV it's like one shot or like a few shots and then it's like
Yeah,
wait, 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 wait.
nothing. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then waiting for stuff to come out as well. You're literally like, oh gosh, like it just feels like so long ago that you filmed. And yeah, it's a different experience, but yeah, just as enjoyable.
Great. In the future, do you think you'd want to go into the more um like creative side of it? So perhaps like writing, directing.
You know what? I haven't actually really explored that much. But a lot of people have like sort of asked that question before, and I'm like, maybe it is something I should start like exploring a little bit. Like I did a little bit of like creative writing once, and you said like, oh, what do you do when you're out of work to like
Yeah.
fulfill creativity? I once did a bit of that and I was like, oh, I actually quite enjoyed that. So
Yeah.
maybe I will. Maybe you've inspired me.
Heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Great. So the last question before we wrap this up, if you could say something to your younger self right now, perhaps like before going to Lane or as you were growing up, what would
Hmm.
that be?
I think sort of my motto now is to just like be present and enjoy every experience, like not just industry wise, but in life. Like you never know what's going to happen. You don't know what's around the corner. Um, So yeah, it would definitely be that to just like soak up every moment. Like I feel like this industry has given me so much. Like I've traveled the world, I've like done shows in the West End. Like I feel like I've literally been like enjoying every second because I like you don't know what's around the corner. So I feel like yeah, it would just be present and soak up everything and enjoy the moment.
That's really, really lovely. Thank you so much for joining me, Courtney. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. It's been great
No,
to hear about Dear England and everybody listening. Hopefully, you'll see Courtney, go and catch that. Make sure you
yes,
check where it's on near you. And yeah, I'll see you in summer for summer school.
yes, see you at summer school. Perfect.
Thanks,
Thank you so much
Courtney.
for having me.
Take care. Goodbye.
You too. Bye bye bye.